This is Shelley Craft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're coming to you from the 2019 Disruptive Growth Conference here in New York City. With me today is Richard Schumacher from Pressure BioSciences. It's a publicly traded company and the symbol is PBIO. Richard, welcome back.
Thank you, Shelley. Great to be back.
It's good to have you. Now let's get started with a brief overview of the company and we'll go from there.
We are a platform technology company in the life sciences. We build instruments with consumables, and these instruments and consumables are used by scientists all around the world to break open cells, to control reactions, to try to find the next discovery, the next cure for a disease or a disability. So we have about 350 of these instruments. They use high pressure, very high pressure, pressures that can go to 2 or 3 times the pressure at the bottom of the Marianas Trench. And they're able to open up cells. These cells can be cancer cells, normal cells. They can be cells from bacteria, viruses. The important thing is it allows them to get out the proteins, the lipids, the DNA to do their work in a very high quality manner, much better than the way we've been breaking cells in the past.
You haven't been on SNN for almost 2 years. So what's new?
Oh.
Give me an update.
There's a lot that's new, Shelley. I'm glad you asked. First of all, we used to have, as you know, one revenue-generating business, and that was the pressure cycling technology instruments that are sold all over the world. We now have 2 more. In 2019, we've added 2 more business units that generate revenue. The first we call is UST, or Ultra Shear Technology, and the second is called Barofold, B-A-R-F-O-L-D, Barofold. I won't go into the details. Let's just say that the Barofold technology was a technology in which we picked up about $25 million worth of patents that another company put into it. We purchased it for under $1 million. All has to do with pressure, and it enables us to work with companies that are bringing protein drugs to the market in a much better fashion and help them out in places where they run into problems developing those protein drugs. We think this is going to generate about $500,000 this year alone, and next year can be doing even more. The second is very exciting, our Ultra Shear technology. We have an instrument that we call a BaroShear K45. What the BaroShear does, it uses our patented Ultra Shear technology to make oil go into water. It's that simple. Not that simple. Very difficult, but we've been able to do it. We are able to break oil down and have it go into water. And I bet you know where the biggest play right now is. It happens to be a $40 billion market, and that's in the cannabis, the CBD area.
So how does it work?
Well, CBD is an incredible compound that comes out of the cannabis plant, comes out of the hemp plant in an oil. And we as human beings and our animals, our pets, we're water-based. And therefore, when we take something in that's oil-based, it doesn't get absorbed very well. The WHO, in fact, presented data about a year ago indicating they thought that maybe 6% of the CBD in the current formulations are actually being absorbed, are bioavailable. What we do is we break the oil down into tiny little droplets, and the CBD gets broken and spread into all of these little droplets. And now what you have is when you absorb this CBD oil, you're absorbing thousands and thousands of droplets, and because of the surface area now is so big, the body's able to go in and pull the CBD out and absorb the CBD from these mini oil droplets versus a bunch of large oil droplets with thousands of CBD molecules makes it very difficult. So we call it a nano-emulsion. So the CBD market is a tremendous opportunity for us, but what they need is they need a way to take their product now that they're putting into edibles and drinks and creams and gauzes and things. We need a way to make them much more bioavailable, much more water soluble, and we believe we've done that with our UST program.
So what do you perceive as the adoption rate for this new product?
Well, we know that the CBD market alone the numbers just keep going up and up and up. And right now, if you believe the numbers we see, the CBD market is probably in the next 2 or 3 years going to be about a $40 billion market. There are hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of manufacturers of CBD. I have personally called about 30 to talk about our new instrument, the BaroShear, and I've told them that we have an instrument that enables oil to go into water. We break oil down to let it go into water. And the calls almost always start off a little cold, but within a couple of minutes, they realize that we're a scientifically driven group. They understand that we have machines on the market for other purposes, and the discussion really starts to get going. And of the 30 calls I've made, 29 have asked for information to be sent. So I think the adoption rate, I'm very excited about the market because this is an instrument that is needed. We fix a problem. The problem is that in the current formula, most CBD products, you cannot, as human beings, absorb the CBD very well, under 10% most likely. We think we can get it to 90% or more. So the adoption rate, I think, is not going to be an issue as soon as they can see the instrument and see what it does.
So you're a public company. Only refer to information that's been available in public releases. What are some growth drivers for the company?
The biggest growth driver is going to be our CBD instrument. I've actually gone further. You've given me a nice cautionary statement there, but I've already gone out to the market and I've said we believe that our revenue, which goes up about 10 to 15% a year for the last 5 years, we've gone from about $1 million to $2.4 million in 2018, 2019, probably another 10 or 15%. We've said in 2020 we expect our revenue to more than double. We have, I've started to pre-sell the instrument I just talked about. We are going to build 12 of these instruments. The list price is $200,000, and I've already sold 3. In the first 2 weeks of phone calls, I've already pre-sold 3, and I have the 30 companies that have asked for more information. I feel very confident, so that I've said publicly, I believe that all 12 will be pre-sold before September 30th. That alone, those 12 instruments at $200,000 takes us to $2.4 million. Add that to our normal $2.5, $2.6, so we're over $5 million next year. We feel very confident. We believe that we're going to hit that number. So the biggest growth driver right now is in the area of CBD. The second growth driver is in our BaroFold. We bought these patents for a very low amount of money. They've already generated more cash than we paid for the patents, and that's just in the first 6 months of 2019. So I expect 2020 is going to be a much better year than this year, and this year is doing pretty good. And our core business, selling instruments to protein and DNA researchers around the world, continues to grow at 10, 15, 20% a year. We do believe that at some point it's going to hit an inflection point and can go up fast, much faster than that. But if that continues to grow at 10 and 20%, our BaroFold business grows very quickly, and the CBD business takes off the way we think it is, we're going to have an exciting 2020.
What's your website for our investor audience?
Pressure BioSciences with an S.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Schumacher, Pressure BioSciences, publicly traded company whose symbol is PBIO. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNNLive, coming to you live from the 2019 Disruptive Growth Conference here in New York City. Rick, always a pleasure to see you.
Great to see you again, my friend.
Got it.